Before we begin, I would like to introduce ourselves. We are Karma Marketing, and we are basically a union between two philosophies, which is Karma Yoga, which is the practice of undisciplined action, as well as the term marketing, which is the exchange of value for society. Our purpose here today is simply to empower each and every one of you by providing a space for you to experience whatever it is that we have planned for you today. So before that, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Rachel, and I'm the representative of the community as well as your moderator for today. And we have invited two very special guests today to facilitate the session, and I'm really excited to introduce them to you after this. So I'm going to basically tell you what's on our agenda for today, and it's honestly really simple. And this is a very casual and relaxing session. And the reason why we organized this before 12 is just for you to have this hour before your lunch break to experience what work and life could be when you have very simple, practical methods that allows you to check in with yourself. So we have already begun with a little bit of an introduction to who we are. And after this, I will talk a little bit about why we decided that this topic was important. And then our first speaker would be Nabila Sharil, who will be doing a simple breathing exercise as well as a movement series that you can basically access from a seating position, whether if you're on your desk. I'll allow her to explain that to you later. And then our second facilitator or speaker, she's called Ashley Sulin, and she will be doing a wellness reflectivity activity that will introduce the concept of productivity and how it relates to performance. So I'm really excited for that session as well. And then we'll finish off with a very simple Q&A session. So before we begin, I'd like to launch a very quick poll for all of you to basically take a moment to answer 3 very simple questions. You should be seeing it on your screen right now. And it's just 3 questions where we just want to check in, how you're doing, as well as connect to the topic today, which is about work-life balance. So I see, do you have a life outside of work? I'm happy to see that most of you do. There may be some of us who don't have a life outside of work, and I empathize with you. And hopefully today's session will give you that opportunity to consider the possibility. How much time do we spend looking at screens in a day? Wow, there is a lot of us that spends more than 6 hours on the screen on a daily basis. So that is a lot, I would say. And then some of us have never considered tracking, and that's okay. And are we looking to improve your work-life balance? Some of us are saying, yes, show me how. There is some of us that says we're at a really good place, congratulations. And some of us are saying that we could do better. Well, that is perfect, because today's session is essentially for you to reevaluate this concept of work-life balance. And so hopefully we will be able to provide you with simple tools that you can take home in your everyday life. So thank you so much for participating in our poll. We will now move on. Okay, so I would like to introduce the concept of karma rituals. Basically, it's a series of wellness-inspired programs that aims to cultivate the culture of well-being. Specifically, we're experimenting with the concept of wellness at work. So the reason why we're facilitating introspective and immersive learning sessions, such as what you're about to experience today, is because we want to introduce you to old and new teachings that have been proven through generations that are able to help you increase your sense of awareness, which brings you better connection to your surroundings, as well as give you this opportunity to get to know yourself better. our focus today is work-life balance, because we believe that it's an important aspect of creating a healthy environment that hopefully reduces trigger elements such as stress or burnouts, because these are like the common themes that most of us experience at our workplace. When we experience elements like stress or burnouts, like some of the things that could happen to us is things like mood swings, fatigue, being irritated for no reason, as well as sometimes having a decrease in your work potential and performance. So there's a lot of like physical and psychological problems that could occur when there are elements of burnout, and therefore we are concerned about the topic, and we're very interested to facilitate learning environments such as today to figure out like how we can be more independent with how we care for ourselves. And our goal is to hopefully create a more healthier and productive workspace through practical and science-based wellness habits. So with that, I'm going to invite you to take a moment to ground into the present moment, which is now, and you can turn off your notifications, you can move away from your laptops, and really just take the next 50 minutes to be with yourself and us. With that, I would like to introduce our first speaker and facilitator. Her name is Nabila Sharil, and she is the founder of Mind, Body, Breath, based in Malaysia. She's also a health and wellness coach, as well as a yoga teacher. You can basically follow her after this to find out where she teaches her classes in person. And her session today will be based on a science-backed technique that will basically get you into a momentum of becoming more aware of your physical and mental state. But I will not talk too much into it. I will basically invite her into this space to allow her to introduce herself as well as what she has planned for us today. So welcome, Nabila.
Hello. Hi, everyone. So my name is Nabila. Thank you, Rachel, for the brief introduction. As you've mentioned, I'm the founder of Mind, Body, Breath. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm also a health and wellness coach and also a mindfulness guide. I have been in the corporate world just before I started this Mind, Body, Breath full time. So I know what the stresses in a corporate life could be like. And I wish the tools that I'm going to share with you today, I wish I knew them when I was back in corporate. So just to give like a little rundown of our session, 10 minutes, the first 10 minutes that we'll go through a very gentle, very simple breathing exercise. Rachel has mentioned it is science-backed. So this is actually based off from the mindfulness-based stress reduction method. It's really just coming back into your breath and bringing that awareness back into your breath with the hopes that by having that awareness, you will then are able to reset and refocus, whether that be on the problems that you are trying to fix or just to realign yourself with whatever your inner desire may be for that moment. And then after that, we'll do a 10 minutes chair stretch, because I've been told that most of us will be on a chair in front of a desktop at the moment. So I've designed some stretches that are chair friendly. So for the guided meditation or guided mindfulness session, you can sit on your chair, you can choose to sit on the floor cross-legged, or you can even lie down, whatever that is most comfortable for you. Okay, and with that, we'll begin. I will turn off my video, and you are also encouraged to turn off your video to really just focus on my voice and let me guide you back into your breath. I'll give everyone a couple of minutes, 1 minute, to kind of just get ready. And then wherever that you have chosen to sit or lie down, Just let your whole body sink in. Just returning to the awareness of your breath. So for the next 10 minutes, you'll be guided through this mindful breathing practice. During this session, you will hear my voice with instructions and silent stretches in between. This practice has been designed to allow the body to return to its original state of peace and calm by bringing awareness to the movement of your breath. Just allow yourself this time to be comfortable in whatever position you have chosen. Set your phones and gadgets to silent mode. Really give yourself the space to simply be as you are. Allow yourself this time as a gift to be fully present with this practice. Begin to bring your awareness to where your body is. Taking a few moments to simply arrive in your seat in a way that feels both comfortable but attentive. And allow the body to become still. Feeling the contact of your skin with other surfaces, the floor, the chair. If you're sitting on a chair, you may choose to place your hands on your lap or your legs. And if you're lying flat on the floor, just feeling your entire spine fully supported beneath you. Feeling this body as it is, where it is. Your eyes can be slightly open, looking down gently in front of you, or closed if you prefer. Just sensing the body as it is, settling in as you are. And coming to this meditation practice with a firm intention to bring mindfulness and discernment to each moment. When you're ready, bring your attention to settle on your breath as you feel it flowing in and out of your body. Focusing on feeling your belly as it expands gently on the in-breath. And feel it recede gently on the out-breath. Bringing your awareness to the movement of your belly as you inhale and exhale. And shifting the awareness to the breath and noticing the way your body responds as you breathe in and out. There is no need to change the way you breathe. Just noticing breath moving in, breath moving out of your body. One inhalation and one exhalation at a time. Okay, all right, so we'll move on to the next part of the mindfulness session. So after we've come back to our breath, and we really return to the awareness of our breath, try to stay with that awareness while we do all the stretches. Okay, so first we come back to the mindfulness of our breath, and then now we add in the mindfulness of the way we move our body in space. So if you are on a chair, you want to come right to the very edge of the chair. Come seated. And then from here, you're just going to start bringing your hands on your knees like this. Hopefully you can see me in the camera. That's it. Try to sit with your back straight. And really just try to hold that awareness of the breath that we've been doing in the last 10 minutes. So for the first stretch, I want you to be aware where your hips are. Try not to move your hips as best as possible. The movement comes just from the neck itself. Taking a deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to turn your head very gently, looking over to your right shoulder. And then from here, you're going to inhale, coming back towards the center. Exhale, turning the neck, and looking over to the left shoulder. All right, so as you inhale, come back towards the center. We're going to start to hold this movement. As you begin to exhale, turn towards your right shoulder again. Moving only your neck. Looking over soft, let your gaze be soft, slightly downwards, breathing 3 breaths. Deep breath in. Feeling your belly moving as you inhale and exhale. One more deep breath. Then on your next inhalation, turn back your head towards the center and then turn to the left. Exhaling. Looking down towards the left shoulder, so let your gaze be 45 degrees down. Soft gaze. Sitting up straight, 3 breaths. One more deep breath. And inhale, turn the head back towards the center. This next movement, you're going to start to add your hip movement inside this movement. So start the twist or the turning from your head first, and let your shoulder follow, and let the hip follow last. So we're trying to deepen this twist. You're going to take an inhalation. Imagine that you have a piece of string tied at the crown of your head, so pulling it up. And then as you exhale, start that turning from the neck again, as we were doing earlier. And then let the shoulder follow, and keep turning until your left hip turns towards the right slightly. You can place your right hand a little bit behind you on the chair, and your left hand outside. Your right knee sitting up straight, and again looking towards the right shoulder. Always be gentle with the way that you are moving. Moving at your own ability. Don't push beyond your own capacity. Then take another deep breath in, enjoying this nice spine twist. As you exhale, release, and come back towards the center. We'll do the same towards the left side. We'll start to hold the next round, okay? So you're going to inhale, the piece of string pulling you up towards the ceiling. Exhale, starting the turning from the head first. Let your shoulder follow as you keep turning. Like you want to do something at that left side of your chair. And then let the right hand fall outside of your right knee. Left hand to the back of the chair, looking out towards the left shoulder. And taking a deep breath in here. Exhale, return it back towards the center. Let's do that one more time. And let's hold it for 3 breaths from head to back. So inhale, piece of string being pulled up towards the ceiling. Exhale, turning, starting with your head, then the shoulder, then the hip. And hold here, breathe. 3 breaths. 1, 2, try your best to sit up straight, don't lean back into your chair as best as you can. And 3, and then inhale, coming back up towards the center. I'm going to do the same thing to the left side. Keep some straight thinking up towards the ceiling, and then as you exhale, start turning from your head, and then the shoulder, and then the head. Hold this twist, 3 breaths. One more deep breath in. And inhale, return back towards the center. So this next movement will be quite familiar if you have been to a yoga class before. So the only difference is we're on a chair. It's called cat and cow. So you're really trying to mimic that movement of cat and cow on a chair. Stay seated at the edge of your chair. Place your hands on your knees and sit up straight first. As you exhale, I want you to start kind of lean back towards the back of the chair. Like you don't really want to touch the back of the chair. So you're rounding the spine, dropping your tailbone, scooping your pelvis slightly forward. Feel as if you're pulling your shoulder blades apart. So you're really rounding the back here. And then as you begin to inhale, sit up straight, slowly initiating the movement from your hips. Lifting the rib cage. Now you pull the shoulders back as if you want to squeeze your blades together and chest forward. Got it? So exhale, tilt the pelvis forward, round your back. Inhale, lifting up from the hip. And you want to arch your back, offer the chest forward. So really feel every spinal movement. It's like as if every vertebrae has its own sensation, and you're trying to tune it into that. So exhale, tilt the pelvis forward. Inhale, lifting up. Let me do that one more time. Exhale, tilting the pelvis forward, rounding the back, pulling your shoulder blades apart. So you're going to make your back as round as possible. And then as you inhale, lifting up from your hip, then the rib cage, then the chest. And then you squeeze the shoulder blades together at the back. Very good. Return back to neutral. Exhale. All right, so remember, you can always do this at any time when you're at work or you're at home seated on the chair. One more spinal flexion movement. Just gonna try to deepen that cat and cow movement again. So open your legs slightly more apart to just give space for your torso to come forward. I'm going to show this from the side so you can really see what's happening, okay? So from here, legs slightly apart. You're going to take that cat and cow movement, we're going to exaggerate it and really roll down. So taking a deep breath in. As you exhale, start to tilt the pelvis forward, round your back, but also go forward, sliding your hands down your shingles. At the end of your exhalation, keep the spine lifted and just enjoy this back stretch a little bit. As you begin to start to inhale, feel as if you're being pulled up from the mid-spine, slowly lifting up. Try to make this movement as mindful as you can. Sitting up, lifting the ribcage, lifting the chest, and really arch the back here. This is the end of your inhalation. So as you begin to exhale, round the back again. Protract the shoulder blades, slide your hands down the shin. Keep the blades apart, lift the spine up towards the ceiling. And as you begin to inhale, up, slide the hands back up the shin bone to your knees, arch your back, lift the ribcage, lift the chest. Deep breath. One more round. Enjoy this stretch. Really try to make it as mindful as you can. Tilting the hip forward, rounding back, sliding the hands down. Inhale, begin to slide the hands back up the shin bones. Keep your back contracted. until the ribcage starts to lift, offering a chest forward, arch you up. And then from here, return back to you. Very good. So last two stretches, which I'm still going to do from the side, is really good for all of us to work on the desk and we get to high shoulders. Okay? So stay seated where you are at the edge of your chair. The first one is called Garudasana arm, which is eagle arm. You want to start with your right hand in front of you, 90 degrees, like that. Left hand rubbing underneath. And see if that left hand can hold the right wrist. As if this is not accessible, if you can't catch the wrist, you can also just press the back of your palms in together like that. So wherever you are, you want to try to keep that arm active. Feel the back of your shoulders starting to open. Inhale, lift the elbows slightly up. So the elbows want to move up. And keep pressing in the back of your hands. And breathe here. Full 3 to 5 breaths. Being mindful of your breath. And of course, if you feel any sharp pain, you can lessen that stretch slightly. Okay, or just bring the elbows more down. So really work from where you are. One more big breath in. And then as you exhale, release the elbows down slowly. Good. Keep your hands up, we're just going to switch. So now the left hand is going to go in front of your face, about 90 degrees. Grab the right hand underneath. Try to catch the left wrist now. Or if that's not possible, you're just going to press the back of your palm together, like that. So pressing the back of your palms or catching your wrist, keeping your arms active. Inhale, lift the elbow as much as you can enjoy the stretch between your shoulder blades. Stay here for another 5 breaths. Inhale. Bringing that awareness to the sensation that you're feeling in between the shoulder blades. Two more deep breaths. And then on that last exhalation, you will gently uncurl the arms first, let the shoulder return back to its original position. Release your shoulder. And just shake it off a little bit. One last shoulder stretch, and then I'll pass the section off to Ashley. Okay, so for the next one, you want to practice this with a little bit of caution. So don't force yourself through it. If you have like a strap or a towel nearby, you can use that. But also, whatever you're wearing, if it's your t-shirt, you can also catch that t-shirt. Okay, so I'll show from the back, and then I'll face you. So for the first side, you're going to start with your right hand up, just lifting your right hand straight up towards the ceiling. And then feel like as if you want to put your right palm right at the nape of your neck. If you need some help, you can use the left hand. Take this right elbow and kind of just encourage it to come to the center. Don't push too hard, just very lightly. Be kind to yourself. And then the left hand will come underneath, trying to look for the right hand. So if you can, you're going to be joining your fingers, kind of hooking your fingers in like that. But if you can't, you have t-shirts, you're going to hold on to that bits of t-shirt at the back, or even a piece of strap if you have one. So from here, you're just going to hold the stretch. If your head is being pushed down by your right elbow, I want you to slowly start to lift up that head. Just a little bit. And then if the stretch is okay, like if you're enjoying the stretch, you want to try to tilt that head slightly up. So only 45 degrees up. Kind of push that elbow a little bit back. So you're going to stay here for 5 breaths. You can close your eyes. Breathing in and up. Two more deep breaths in. Then on that third inhalation, you can gently release your hands. And what we're going to do is just spiral it. So now the left hand comes up, searching for the nape of your neck. You can use the right hand to gently guide it back towards the center. Right hand moves underneath, in between the blades. If you can catch fingers, go ahead. If not, go onto your t-shirt, a piece of towel, or a strap. And again, if your head is being pushed down, slightly look straight forward first to let that left elbow open, the left shoulder. Enjoy the stretch. If you want to deepen the stretch, look up slightly, 45 degrees up. You may close your eyes, 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very gently, you're just going to spiral the hands up. Shake your shoulders a little bit. Let circulation return. Feeling slightly circle hopefully after this stretches. And I just want to thank you, each and every one of you, for your attention. I'll pass the session back to Rachel.
Thank you very much, Nabila, for that wonderful session. Apologies for the technical error that happened before. So for those who are joining today, we may be going a little bit over time, and we do apologize for that error. Now let's move on to introduce Ashley. Ashley Sulin is also another health and wellness coach who is based in Malaysia, and she is coming from a corporate background, and she has launched her own productivity platform called The Real Planner, as well as her new wellness initiative called Wellness And. But I will basically bring her to the space so that she could introduce herself as well as facilitate her session. Thank you, Nabila.
Hi, Rachel. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I hope you enjoy the previous session. So in this session, I'm going to do a little bit more talking than, the activities, because I think we have not that much time, and I don't want to rush your reflections either. But I'll be like giving you guys a little bit of homework at the end so that you have something to leave with, and just kind of like work on yourself afterwards. So my name is Ashley. I do have a full-time job, so I'm still currently working in a corporate setting, but I also run my own productivity and wellness company. So today here, I'm just gonna share with you some practical wellness habit tips that I have picked up over the years that I've worked in corporate as well. And I think a lot of us, when it comes to even simple movements like what Nabila has did just now, even I myself, having been a yoga practitioner for so long, I actually just did my yoga instructing course in August. It still takes a lot of effort to slow down. And I think that's what people don't realize, is that the world that we're in, right, the hustle culture that we're in, we are so good at like going like really fast in life, go, do, and slowing down and actually finding stillness is such a skill, right? If you are one of those in the past 20 minutes or so, you felt really uncomfortable, or you felt like anxious, that your heart's really beating really fast, you're trying to tell your body to slow down, but your heart's like, oh my God, it's racing. And I want to just tell you, like, it's completely normal, right? It's so normal. I do hope that you will give it another shot. You'll try it again in your own time. Like, don't rule it out too quickly that, oh, it's not for me. Like, this slow movement things are not for me. Like, don't be so quick to judge yourself. Don't be so quick to rule it out that it's not for you. I would say do it again. And I think like what Nabila has shared as well is so practical and so useful, and it's so easy to do, right? It's just that sometimes when things are so easy, you feel like, oh no, I'll just like do it later. And then like when. So one way that I found very helpful in terms of kind of deciding when you would do a certain practical wellness habit is to kind of like assess how it makes you feel. So throughout that whole, like, I would call it like the meditation and the movement, throughout the entire thing, I want you to ask yourself one question right now, right? One, did it energize you or did it relax you, right? So which one did you feel like after you've done all of those movements, all of those breath work? So just take a minute, like to kind of think about that. Okay, or you can type into the chat. Thank you, Nazira, for being interactive here. Yeah, feel free to like chat with me, guys. So, okay, perfect. So if it relaxes you, then I would suggest for you to do past the 12 p.m. point, right? So past 12 p.m., you're sort of like, okay, you're like, you know, at the peak of the day, you're like wanting to like just wind down, getting ready for like the work day to like end sort of thing. So you could do that, or like just closer to the like evening before you get into your car. Maybe like at 4 or 5 o'clock, you're like, okay, I'm about to like be done with my day. Let me just do this really quickly before I get into my car. Or even as you get home, right? The first thing you do is this. Instead of turning on your Netflix, instead of scrolling on social media, can you come back and make it a point, make it a ritual for you to do these very simple movements to relax you, right? So the other point is true. If you feel like this is totally energizing, in fact, actually, when I do go for like 8:30 p.m. meditation classes, it relaxes like 90% of the class. And I'm the rare few that like when the meditation class ends at 10 p.m., I'm on with my laptop and like I'm starting to work because my creative juice is like flowing and like I'm like so energized. So it works on like different people like differently. So if you're like me, then I would suggest for you to do it in the morning, right? You could do it like right after you get off bed. When you get up, you can do it on your bed before you take a shower, or even like after you know, drove to work, like just before you start your day. Instead of drinking coffee, you could also do these movements. So I just wanted to add that in there to kind of like transition and combine like what Nabila has done, which I think is amazing, and to some things that I want to share with you guys today that I hope you can bring back. So the key message for today that I kind of want to just challenge you guys, there'll be like reflective questions along the way. The first one was already that did the movements relax you or energize you, right? So every single thing that you do, I want you to ask yourself that question. Did it like energize me or did it relax me? All right. So that's the first reflective point. The second one, homework, would be that what are some of the things in life that are like highlights, right? Like going to work, okay, like having a meeting, having an event, joining a session like this, I would call them like, you know, events, right? Live events. And we always just kind of like look forward to like live events. And sometimes leading up to these live events, we sort of waste the time before, right? We sort of like just, okay, what do I do now? I have like 10 minutes, I have 5 minutes, I have 30 minutes. I'm waiting for the next thing to happen. And we just waste it. We just waste it without even knowing that we're wasting it. And guilty is charged. I think all of us are, you know, humans. We have temptations. We have 5 minutes. What do you do? I'm like, okay, I'll just scroll on social media real quick. I'll just check email real quick, right? I'll just do all this technological based things real quick. I'll just watch this video real quick. So each time we stimulate ourselves, like in this like moment in between, sometimes it's not actually preparing us for the live event as much as we want it to be. So I'm a productivity coach, and there's so many things you can do to make sure your live event is at its optimal performance, at its most successful potential, right? And so what can you do, right? One of them is breath work, right? So I'm going to go into my next slide really quickly. So I showed you 3 different breath works here, okay? So the first one, which is super simple, if you do it for like 30 seconds, like I feel like it will make a world of difference. And belly breathing, these are things you now have to Google because we don't have time. But you can take a screenshot of this and Google it because it's very, very basic stuff. And 30 seconds of that can honestly just like make or break, right? So I want you to like compare. We are practical, logical, intellectual people, right? 30 seconds of scrolling on social media versus 30 seconds of belly breathing, which one's better for you? Which one will be like better equip you for your like live event, like meaning like your meetings, being in the session, right? Going to work, answering that email like in the most like, amazing way. So all that, I always want you to ask yourself, like, can I be breathing right now more efficiently, or should I be like on my phone or doing something that is like actually not very useful? Okay. So that's the second touch point that I want to share with you. Focus breath is one of my most favorite breath work because it creates structure and it helps recalibrate. So please Google that up. Focus breath is also box breath, in case focus breath doesn't pop up in your Google. Okay, now the second thing I want to share with you, which I think is very, very like important, okay, which is your inhalation versus exhalation. Because I think, like I said, like, being still and finding like stillness and slowing down is really a skill, right? A skill that not many people have practiced. And how do you practice that? Is that your breath work is actually related to your ability to modulate energy up and down. And the secret is in our breath, okay? Inhalation energizes you. Exhalation relaxes you, right? So by that, like one key point itself, you can already kind of like, find a ratio in your head. So if I'm inhaling longer, if I'm taking a longer time to inhale, it just means I'm trying to create more and more and more energy, right? Now, the opposite is true. If I'm trying to find my stillness and I'm trying to wind down, right? If I expand on my exhalation and I take longer and longer and longer to exhale, I'm really slowly just trying to wind down and calm myself down. So it doesn't matter what ratio you will find online, right? They will tell you breathe in 2 seconds, exhale 6 to relax, or the other way, breathe in for 6, exhale for 2 to like increase. So I think you know yourself best, right? There are like 100 different versions of breath work out there, but the point of knowing the longer your inhalation is, so if you're taking like 8 counts to inhale right now, right? So let's just like do that right now. So inhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. And then exhale. That energizes you, right? So in the morning, you're just like, oh my gosh, I feel so sleepy right now. Take your time to inhale. All right. And if you're like on your bed and you can't sleep and you're like, what is wrong with me? I have so much thoughts going on. I have so much energy. I just need to sleep right now. Then the opposite is true. You inhale quickly, like, but when you exhale, it's like 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that just calms you down, right? So those are the 2 breaths that I want to empower you with, because it's such an easy hack. And that just automatically makes you be more in control of the skill that you have to increase energy at will and decrease energy at will as well. But of course, like one breath won't cut it, right, guys? We're humans, right? You won't just like inhale 8 seconds and suddenly you're like superhuman. Then you're like, all right, I'm gonna like, go run a marathon now. Like, I don't think it works that way, but like you have to spend at least 3 minutes doing it, right? 30 seconds bare minimum, you'll feel like a little bit, but like 3 minutes is pretty solid. Okay. And if you have time, I would say 5, right? If not 10. Okay. So at this point, I want to share with you one other ritual. I'm going to use the word ritual because I love how like I'm just like, trying to jive with the theme of today right now, the organization. So one ritual that I always do is that you can do your daily 3 to 5 minutes, but that's just like maintenance, right? That's not going to be like very, it's not like a good checkpoint because you're like, am I growing? Can I be better? Can I actually do 30 minutes? Can I do 90? Like, where am I at in terms of my breathing capacity, in terms of my energy? Like, where am I at, right? Am I like good in my breathing, right? So I like to do this like self checkpoint every once in a while. And I call this the breathing marathon, all right? Why a breathing marathon is because it's actually going to take a while. So I usually use a candle, right? So any candle, the the amazing thing about candles are like, you can't light it up and just like let it be for like 5 minutes and then you change your mind and then you like blow it off. Because it will like create this like really ugly thing. So if you guys are like a big fan of candles like I am, what happens is that when you light the candle up, you sort of have to wait for it to melt until it like reaches the sides, the sides of the wall, and it creates like that huge ring. And then that's when you blow it up and it like, still hardens up like beautifully. Okay, I know if you're not a candle person, like I probably won't make sense, but if you are, you will know what I'm talking about. So crazy thing, like so many candles I've used, roughly the time to take for the wax to like evenly distribute towards the whole jar is about 1 hour to like 1.5 hours, depending on whether it's like soy wax or like beeswax, right? So that's my breathing marathon. So each time I like light up the candle, I'm telling myself this will be the start of my breathing marathon, right? And so I light it up and I put it down, and I'm just gonna do all sorts of breathing methods. So I will start with my belly breathing, and I'll do it for like 5 minutes just to warm up. Then I'll go to focus breath. Then I'll like try my awake breath, calm breath, right? Alternate nostril breathing. And they're like literally 3-4 more things that I usually do. In combination with meditation, visualization, journaling, tea meditation, just reading a book, all of that in that 2 hours. So you're breathing, right, for 2 hours. And that's why I call it a marathon, because you don't run a marathon every week. You don't run a marathon even every month. But like, according to your own body and ability, how many breathing marathons are you capable of doing, right? So I run a half marathon like every 6 months, or at least I used to. I just finished a duathlon like last Saturday. So I try to like sign up for like a trail challenge or some sort of like really hardcore stuff to kind of like tell myself, okay, my body is still capable of this, right? Like I'm working towards that. So your everyday 3 to 5 minutes, you're working towards something, right? Your everyday like 1 kilometer jog, 5 kilometer jog, it's working towards something, right? Same as your like 3 to 5 minutes breathing every day, you're working towards your breathing marathon. So I hope that makes sense. So it gives you a little bit more structure. If you're like me, you need a bit of a structure, a little bit more like goal and like tricking yourself to like doing something. I feel like that was one way that really helped me. Now my record time, like 90 minutes, like when I'm done, I still feel pretty okay. Like I feel like I could have done like more, right? Maybe even like 2-3 hours. I could have like pushed myself a little bit more. But maybe one day I'll do that. I don't know. Maybe I find a small little candle and then I tell myself, okay, I'm gonna do the marathon until the candle like finishes, right? Maybe I'll do that. Okay, so that's the second one. Sorry, I'm talking so fast, guys. I'm just trying to be mindful of time. It's recorded. If you find like what I'm saying is too fast and it's not registering well with you right now, you can pause, reflect, go back, do it again so that it like really absorbs. Okay, the third thing is, so if you guys find that the second point that I told you about was already like, wow, I didn't know that. The third thing is gonna blow your mind, okay? So the third thing I wanna share with you is an alternate nostril breathing. So what alternate nostril breathing is that literally in your nose, you're using your right hand, okay? Your right hand, and you're putting your thumb on your right, okay? Right nostril, and your little pinky finger on your left, okay? So you're like right, left, right, okay? So I need to like listen to me carefully, okay, in the way you'll do this. So what will happen is you're gonna press your thumb down on the right and you're gonna always start on your left. So you're gonna inhale from your left, and then holding your breath, you're gonna close it, and then you're gonna exhale from your right, okay? So once you exhale from your right already, you breathe in again from your right, you hold, and then you release, exhale on your left. So you see the balance here. You inhale left, exhale right. Inhale right, exhale left. Inhale left, exhale right. Inhale right, exhale left. So you do that over and over again. And scientifically, it has been proven that if you do 15 minutes of alternate nostril breathing, it replaces lack of sleep. All right. So if you guys are the type that maybe you like, don't sleep like 8 hours, you sleep like 5, 6, right? Do this 15 minutes a day and it sort of replaces the lack of sleep that you have. Okay, you can Google it up. I think it's such an amazing exercise. I love alternate nostril breathing so much because there's so much science behind it, and it's just beautiful how our human body actually functions. So beyond that, right, is that if you do 15 minutes, it's like recalibration. Okay, recalibration. But that's a hack, and I'm going to share with you. Okay, that's a hack. So if you only do it one side, so meaning you inhale left, exhale right, inhale left, exhale right, and you keep doing it over and over again on just inhale left, that actually relaxes you. It relaxes you whenever you bring it on your left. Okay. Now, the flip is true, right? So you're in the morning, you don't have coffee, and you're like, oh my gosh, the coffee shop's still not open. I really, really need to get my fix. Okay. God has given you, okay, the human body to be able to do this. So you do the same thing. You inhale right, okay? Oh, sorry. You always have to use your right hand, sorry. So you inhale right, exhale left. Inhale right, exhale left, right? So the more you inhale from your right, the more energetic you become, right? I mean, some of us, you don't know that. And it's crazy because the right actually like connects to your left brain, and your left actually connects to your right brain. So if you inhale more on your left, you like get relaxed, you're more creative. If you inhale from your right though, you're like more logical, you're more structured, you're like more yang now, right? So I want you guys to try that out on your own. Again, it's not like a fast fix, you have to do it at least like 3 minutes. Okay, again, 3 minutes is the key goal here. And one other thing is with alternate nostril breathing, this is my last point, and then I'll pass the floor back to Rachel. So this is my last point. I will always use alternate nostril breathing as a pulse check, right? It's a pulse check, right? And how? Okay, right now, I want all of us to try it together. Which one's easier, breathing in from your left or breathing in from your right? Let's try that right now, okay? Use your right hand. Start with your left first. Let's assess from the left. Try breathing in from your left nostril. Make sure you close your right completely tight. Feel the airway, okay? And then assess okay, great. Okay, I know how that feels. Okay, now we do it on the right. Okay, exhale. Okay, now we do it on the right. So now close off your left nostril. All right, so now you have at least an indication which one was easier. Now, the side that is easier was left for me, okay? So which means that if I continue at this pace right now, I'm gonna feel pretty relaxed because my left is so easy. It's not even blocked, right? My left was super easy. I'm super chill. I'm just relax. I'm gonna go for my lunch right now, that kind of thing, right? But if your right was super clear, right? You're wow, very easy to breathe from my right. My right is so clear, my left is so blocked. It just means that right after this, you're I'm energetic. I'm going to go do my work and I'm going to answer my email, right? So it's a good assessor. So tonight, before you sleep, okay, I can bet so much money that a lot of you will be when you breathe, your right is so easy, but your left is so blocked. And then you find out why you can't sleep at night, because your left is blocked. Your body is not relaxing. Your right is wow, so much air going in. And you're 11 p.m. lying down on your bed and you're why am I so awake? And it's because your body is just breathing so much on your right? So hack it. So when I find that when I'm lying on my bed and I'm checking myself, I'm bringing it from my left, I'm blocked. No wonder I cannot sleep because left is blocked. So I will force myself to breathe in from my left. So no matter how slow and how difficult it is, I will just press my right down. It's brain, please stop breathing from my right. I just really need to sleep right now. So breathe in from my left and exhale right. Breathe in from my left, exhale right. And you do that a little bit more, 3 to 5 minutes, and then your left will slowly clear out. It's you talking to your body and communicating with your body that I need to sleep. Please like stop breathing in from my right. Okay. I'm telling you, like from now on, breathe in only from my left. Okay, so I hope that helps, guys. That's like my little hack to just be productive, and a couple of questions there for you to reflect further. So I'm going to pass the floor back to Rachel.
Thank you so much, Ashley, for that highly energetic session. I think you've compressed a lineage of teachings into 10-15 minutes of like highly impactful hackathon. So I hope everyone here was able to write some notes from today's session. And with that, I would like to apologize that we went a little bit over time because of the technical error. For those of you who are staying, thank you so much. Sorry, guys, I needed to refresh my screen, but this was essentially the link page for you to connect with both wellness leaders and experts from today. Definitely take a photo of this and connect with them. Send them personal questions or emails to share your experience today, as well as whether you have any questions about the practice, because there is definitely a lot to uncover from today's session. We'll very quickly open up the floor for like 30 seconds, 1 minute. If you have any questions, you can drop it into the chat. And if not, I would invite you to definitely connect with us or today's facilitators to basically continue the conversation. I would like to take this moment to really thank Ashley and Nabila for facilitating today's session. I think it was very powerful and impactful, and hopefully our participants are able to take some of these practices or rituals into their everyday life. For those of you who started today's session asking yourself, how can I redesign my work life? Well, today you have access to some new tools and activities that you can most certainly incorporate into your everyday life. And it doesn't have to be only towards the weekends. This is all about time management. You could easily access it at any time of your day, but this is how you basically need to plan your schedule and figure out, like, is there a 5-minute or half an hour or 1 hour in a day where I can simply just pause and access these powerful tools to basically check in with myself. I'm going to end today's session, and thank you so much to everyone for being here, and I wish you a good lunch session ahead, and thank you.